Last year, the success of Top Gun Maverick shocked a lot of people in Hollywood. This was not a movie that a lot of people were asking for. It's not a movie that people thought would make $1 billion worldwide, and it's certainly not a movie that they thought would get to nearly $1.5 billion, but it did. And so many people were looking at Tom Cruise and thanking him, including Steven Spielberg, for saving Hollywood's ass. Top Gun Maverick brought it back to basics. Awesome action, men who are men, women who are women, and at the end of the day, the focus was on entertaining people and telling them a great story, not pushing any type of propaganda. So with that massive success last year, it's only made people look forward to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 that much more. I'm a massive Mission Impossible fan. I think the last several have been incredible, and I was really looking forward to this anyway. The hype that I got from watching how good Top Gun Maverick is just made me want to see this even more. However, it sounds like Tom Cruise is not getting his way when it comes to the theaters, when it comes to the box office, and reportedly, he is furious right now. Tom Cruise reportedly pissed off by Mission Impossible 7 theater dilemma. Ahead of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1's theatrical run, star Tom Cruise is said to be pissed with its place in the big screen hierarchy. Cruise is currently prepping for Mission Impossible 7's arrival in theaters, which will serve as the first of a two-piece ending to the franchise he's led for over 25 years. But after the immense success he saw critically and financially with Top Gun Maverick, expectations for him to succeed with the new movie continue to grow as his star power remains steady. Tom Cruise unhappy with Mission Impossible 7 theater placement. According to Matthew Bologna, who's put out some things in the past several months that have turned out to be right, what I'm hearing about Tom Cruise is that he's quite upset with where it's falling in the pecking order. The report notes, Paramount's Mission Impossible 7 is booked to play on the majority of North American IMAX screens when it premieres on July 12th. However, just 9 days later, Christopher Nolan-directed epic Oppenheimer will debut in theaters and is reportedly locked in to play on all IMAX screens for 3 full weeks. Now, I'm not going to deny, I'm really looking forward to Oppenheimer. I think it's going to be a great movie. But at the same time, this is a movie that is rated R. This is a movie that's probably not going to have the same type of mass appeal that Mission Impossible 7 is going to have. So in all likelihood, probably won't even make as much money for those theaters. But at the same time, Christopher Nolan was like a pioneer of IMAX. He's a guy that's been pushing it for forever. So he has a really good relationship with the IMAX theaters and with IMAX in general. So it's no surprise that he got this type of deal. But apparently Tom Cruise is not happy with this. According to Bologna, Cruise is pretty pissed off about the situation and is adamantly attempting to convince exhibitors, in some cases personally calling them, to change their plans to screen his film ahead of Oppenheimer on certain non-IMAX premium screens. Nolan is well known for his support of IMAX, kind of like we saw, having shot Oppenheimer exclusively with IMAX large format cameras, and Universal slotted the movie for this release date long before Mission Impossible 7 got its release date. Cruise's contention comes from feeling he isn't getting the treatment he feels he deserves after Maverick. It was said to have saved theaters, like we talked about when it debuted in May 2022, grossing $1.5 billion. Of that box office, $110 million came from IMAX theaters. Ultimately, Cruise said he was expressing extreme displeasure in IMAX's decision not to budge its plans. I understand where Tom Cruise is coming from. He thinks this is going to hurt his movie. The fact they're going to put Oppenheimer in there for 3 weeks, where I do probably feel like there's going to be more appeal, more mass appeal for Mission Impossible 7. When you look at what the Mission Impossible movies have done over the course of history, it has been Mission Impossible 2 was up and then 3 was down. But after that, it's been a very upward trend for them. You look, Mission Impossible 3, 400 million, but then Ghost Protocol, almost 700 million. Rogue Nation, almost 700 million. Mission Impossible Fallout, almost 800 million. And I do think the expectation for Dead Reckoning Part 1 with the success of Maverick, I think if this doesn't hit $1 billion, people are going to see it as a little bit of a disappointment. They think it's going to be the first Mission Impossible movie to hit $1 billion. I certainly think that's the case. It looks awesome. The trailers look fucking epic. And with its massive budget that got really bloated during COVID, during the lockdowns and all that stuff, it kind of needs to make that type of money to pay it back. A $290 million budget, which probably means this movie needs to make $850 million in that area to break even. And Tom Cruise is not happy that the theaters aren't really giving him what he wants, is a little more piece of that pie when it comes to the IMAX theaters, considering what this movie is probably going to do and considering what Top Gun Maverick did last year. I have no doubts that Oppenheimer is probably going to be great, and a lot of people are going to want to see it at IMAX, of course, but to have it there exclusively for 3 weeks and not allow anything else, I do understand where he's coming from. What do you guys think? What do you think both these movies are going to do at the box office, especially with Oppenheimer being rated R, and I don't think it's going to have the same type of mass appeal, although I do think it's going to make a really good chunk of money for them. Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.